Welcome and thank you. Welcome to episode 0 of the Press the Damn Button podcast. And thank you for taking the time to listen or click or for whatever reason. And, on this one, I just want to kind of talk to you about who I am, what you can expect from the podcast. If you follow me on lots of social channels or you've been listening to a lot of my shows, you can probably just jump ahead to episode 1, or you can take a quick listen to this one. But I really just wanted to set the tone, and I meant that like welcome and thank you. I think in this world, attention is something that we sometimes take for granted, and just the idea that you're spending a little bit of your time in your 24 hours of your day, because we all have the same 24 hours. I really appreciate that. And for me, podcasting is my medium of choice for listening and consuming. It's also my favorite for creating. And part of that reason is that I believe podcasting is the most intimate medium in the world. And part of that, or the reason I believe that, is much like when you're reading a book. And I'm not much of a reader. You'll hear more about that later. But for all of the book readers that are out there, how many of you have actually liked a movie that came out after you read the book? Probably not very many, right? Because as a reader of a book, when you're reading a book, you get to decide what the story is. You get to decide what you visualize, what the characters look like, if someone says they're on the beach, what the beach looks like. We get to use our own imagination. Well, in the podcasting world, it's much like that, because I love creating video, and I even do this podcast live streamed, and my first sponsor is Restream, for a live streaming tool. But the thing about video is that as the creator, we get to determine what you are visualizing, right? You get to determine what you're thinking about, why you're thinking about, even maybe the colors or the atmosphere. It's a very show and tell platform. But podcasting is intimate. You're in someone's ear. We have that connection. We have that bond. You're able to tell, you might be driving, or maybe you're working out, or maybe you're multitasking, doing a wide, maybe house, maybe you're doing dishes or cutting the lawn. Like, these are all things I do when I'm listening to podcasts, or on an airplane when we can go back to flying. And I believe that intimacy is very valuable. And I am one that talks fast, so I will warn you, if you haven't listened to me before, you have to keep it at one speed. But I hope you'll listen faster, and maybe listen a second time. And the real driving force behind this podcast is I've had lots of people asking for it for many years, saying, Brian, you need to do a podcast about pressing the damn button. And I've wanted to do an interview podcast for a long time. I did over 300 interviews on Google Plus, Google Hangout show. I've hosted many events as a moderator, as a host and MC, a panelist. But I haven't had in my 300 plus episodes of a podcast that I've hosted, I've never had really a primary interview show. And I just felt like where the world's at today, where everything is at. And, my driving force is to help make the world a better place by seeing the synergy between technology and digital innovation and humanity. And I believe that. And I can promise you, if you give me your time and you listen to this, podcast, and you subscribe to the show, that it's going to be well worth your time. And together, we're going to learn together. We're going to realize that, perfection's a fairy tale. We're going to embrace that we can't control everything other than ourselves. We're going to learn about different people's stories. I have a list of guests that range from poker players to a sexual psychologist, to a digital futurist, to a senior VP in a Fortune 50 company, to one of my biggest mentors in my life, to a Gen Z TikTok creator that is doing some amazing things with her platform. And so my goal is to help celebrate the good people doing good things, maybe press the button for them so that more people can discover them. But really, it is to help us all come to this realization that we are much more alike than we are different. And we have so much going for us with good people doing good things that the bad news and the fake news don't have to win. People shouldn't feel more alone. And this is going to be that inspirational, motivational podcast that you didn't know you needed, but it's going to be practical as well. I'm a computer science major that worked for the Department of Defense in cybersecurity for 9 years. I managed a majority of my employees were older than I was. And, I was the youngest fraternity president of my fraternity in college. I played college hockey and was a computer science major, and nobody was a computer science major and played hockey. And nobody that played hockey was also a fraternity person, right? Like those worlds didn't mix. And really that's been the secret sauce for me in my life, is that I love connecting people from different walks of life to grow each other, to realize that we are greater than me. And, I believe to be part of a great we first have to invest and be the best me that we can be. The me that we be. And part of that, being the best individual that we can be, is that we have to learn from others. We have to hear stories from others. We have to be able to come along on this journey. And so that's what this show is about. It's not about live video or social media or technology. It's really comes down to the idea that, how do we, as great people doing great things, help to make the world a better place by sharing our story, giving access to who we are, to celebrating other people's stories, to finding our preferred way of, connecting with people. And, I've always, I believe in the power of empathy and the importance of compassion. But right now, it's hard to be empathetic for others when so many people are shut off from the world and not telling their stories. And I think we can sometimes get overwhelmed by this idea of changing the world or making the world more empathetic. But if we each individually took that on as our own individual charge and decided to let people in, to share more of our vulnerabilities, to connect with people, to collaborate with people that are, outside of our normal purview, that it will truly, I say truly a lot. It's probably gonna be a drinking game from this show, how many times I say the word truly. But it's I believe we can make the world a better place through sharing our stories, by being vulnerable and transparent, putting things out there. And that's what this show is all about. And so thank you guys. As I said to start off the show, thank you for giving me your attention. Thank you for, spending a little bit of time with me, and hopefully subscribing to the show, supporting the sponsors, celebrating the guests. I am iSocial Fans with a Z on every social media platform. So you don't have to follow me everywhere. Just pick your favorite channel. Give me a follow. And if you have questions, suggestions for guests that aren't yourself, then feel free to hit me up on everything from TikTok to LinkedIn to Instagram to Facebook to Twitter. Twitter's one of my favorite platforms. But yeah, hopefully that's what this is all about. And we're gonna learn. We're gonna go on this journey together. And I'm not gonna shy away from tough topics. I'm not gonna shy away or avoid things that maybe others might think we would avoid, because I believe that the more we talk about things, the more we help each other learn, the more we allow people in, the better we each become. And with that, I give us all that same challenge, that same marching orders to let's go on this journey together. So feel free to jump in to that first episode 1. It is all about the golden rule of pressing the damn button. And the button, just for those that are listening to this episode, this is kind of like your golden nugget if you made it this far into episode 0. The button does not have to be a play button or a go button or a live button or a record button. The button is whatever you determine it is. And it's really about not second guessing yourself and remembering that we're all learning together, and that nothing happens if we do nothing, and that it's easy to learn. It's easy. And most people will take notes. Most people will talk about what they're doing, but very few people will take action. Those that are succeeding in the world, those that are changing the world, those that are making a difference are those that don't let the noise of others stop them from doing something. They don't wait until they get permission. And if you're waiting for permission, I'm giving you permission right now to press the damn button. But though the few people that go and put themselves out there and then do the things and not wait for that permission are the ones that are successful. And I can tell you with this podcast, what really is exciting for me is we're going to turn that few that take action into the many. We're going to go from few people taking action and pressing the damn button to inspiring others to press the damn button. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this. If you end up liking the show, definitely give it a review over there on iTunes. I always appreciate that. Also, it helps the podcast get discovered by more people. It will be live streamed. Almost all of the episodes, at least one episode a week, will be live streamed across all of the social media channels, not only with my current sponsor, but that's how I've done my last podcast as well. So if you like to watch while we're recording, feel free to watch it there as well. And it's going to be available everywhere and anywhere. And we're going to have a lot more things to go along with this. I have a whole experience project that we're going to roll out, a newsletter. We're going to roll out a hackathon private group that you guys can jump into and join. And hopefully we can inspire each other through sharing lessons, tools, techniques, things that, inspire each one of us. And this is all the start. So don't worry about all those other call to actions. Like I said, thank you for listening. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the start of something great. Welcome to the idea that we all have this amazing ability to tell stories. We all have the ability to change ourselves and maybe just change one person. And think about that. If we each listener to this show is able to make themselves a little bit better and maybe help one person, together we're going to do some amazing things. So with that, I bid you adieu. Make it a great day. Cheers, my friends. Tears my heart out the most is I will leave this event and I will come back a year from now and people will say, Brian, I was inspired. Brian, I was motivated. Video is it. I was so excited. So I took the notes and I got back to work and I talked to my boss and he wasn't okay with it. And then we decided we were going to do it next month. And then we came here this time with the same notes. And our goal is we're going to learn from you and we're going to actually do it. What I'm telling you is that anyone can learn. Everyone can say that you're inspired. But there's only very few that are going to make a difference. Everybody's story of success you heard on this stage yesterday, they did one thing. And they did one thing to start, and it's what happened after that. They pressed the damn button. I challenge everyone, take one piece of action from something you learned yesterday or today, write it down and own the fact that you will accomplish it. You will press the button, you will make it happen. Because all of this time you're spending, all these amazing things that you're learning are useless unless you press the button. My name is Brian Fanzo. Thank you guys very much.